Breaking news topping this Sports Center. Notre Dame football player Manti speaking for the first time since the hoax was made public. Our Jeremy Schaap spoke with him for 2.5 hours, joining us momentarily with a live report on this Sports Center.
And with that, we say welcome to Sports Center with Jay Harris and Adnan Burke. Hope you enjoy the terrific NBA doubleheader. And we begin, Jay, with that continuing drama around a certain Notre Dame linebacker. Yeah, the twists and turns just keep on going. Notre Dame linebacker Manti speaking tonight with our Jeremy Schaap for 2.5 hours again. And Jeremy joining us now live. Jeremy, how'd it go?
Well, Jay, as you said, it was 2.5 hours, the discussion. Manti in that time answered every question that I posed. He was comprehensive. He went back to the beginning of this story. He explained himself, explained as fully as I think he could what happened, what he says happened to him. As I said, every question was answered. He admitted to a couple of mistakes along the way, including lying to his father on one occasion. That led to some inconsistencies that have been pointed out in the media over the last 48 hours. But let me start with this. At several points, he was asked directly whether he was in any way any part of this. He said no. I will quote him exactly. There was one line in the Deadspin story. One of the sources said, "I'm 80% certain that Manti was in on this." For the record, once again, were you in any way a part of this? Manti said to me, "No, never." I said, "Never." He said, "Never, not ever." I then said to him, "You did a lot of interviews," meaning at the time that this story about Lene Kekua dying was first disseminated back in September. I said it was a big story during the season, one of the stories of the college football season. You described your relationship in a way that suggested you had met her. Explain. And Manti said, "That goes back to what I did with my dad. I knew that. I even knew that it was crazy that I was with somebody that I didn't meet. And that alone, people find out that the girl who died that I was so invested in and I didn't meet her as well. So I kind of tailored my stories to have people think that, yeah, he met her before she passed away." And what he is saying there is that he suggested to people who were interviewing him that he did, in fact, meet Lene Kekua because he thought that the story would sound too weird. It would be too embarrassing to him if he admitted that he had never met her in person.
Jeremy, how would you describe Teo's demeanor during your line of questioning?
I could say that in the entire 2.5 hours that we spoke, he was completely composed, self-assured. He betrayed no nervousness. He had maybe full command of the story, suggests that it's a story rather than the truth. But he had a full command of everything that I posed. I'd like to think the questioning was complete, and he seemed very comfortable in the chair.
How did this alleged relationship get started, Jeremy?
Well, he said it got started on Facebook. When he was a sophomore at Notre Dame, he made some Facebook connection with someone purporting to be Lene Kekua. And over the course of the next year, there were occasional contacts. How you doing? What's going on? Phone conversations. Interestingly, and he showed me documentation to verify this in the form of Facebook messages from other people. He contacted people who she had said also knew her, and they verified, "Oh, yeah, Lene, I know about Lene," and characterized her. These were apparently people who in some way or another were also duped. So he meets her back in 2010 when he's a sophomore. But he said the relationship didn't really start to grow until the Purdue game in 2011. And then subsequently, it became a much more intense relationship back in April, on April 28th specifically, when he found out that she had supposedly been injured in this horrific truck crash in Los Angeles. that put her into a coma. Someone saying that they were a cousin of hers and also a sibling of hers informed him of the crash. And then really from April 28th right up until September 12th, when he thought that she had died, they were inseparable via phone.
When did Teo say he first realized the woman he considered to be his girlfriend never actually existed?
And, you know, that's really, I think, one of the most interesting things here, Jay. A lot has been made in the last couple of days about the fact that Jack Swarbrick in his press conference at Notre Dame 2 nights ago, the Notre Dame AD, said that Manti Teo found out about this on December 6th, and people interpreted that to mean Swarbrick said there was a hoax. If you actually pay attention, he said that's when he got the phone call from somebody saying that Lene wasn't dead, I'm Lene, etc. What Manti Teo told me is that after he gets this phone call on December 6th, and somebody says, I'm alive, I'm Lene, I'm alive, he's utterly confused. He doesn't know whether to believe this person or not. He's told some story about how she's been in hiding from drug dealers. And I know it sounds fantastical, but you have to believe me that he was very convincing the way that he laid this out, that he was not fully convinced that Lene Kekua did not exist until 2 days ago, when he heard from Renaya Tuiasosopo, who has been reportedly, who is reported to be the person behind this hoax. Manti Teo told me that Tuiasosopo called him 2 days ago and told him that he was behind the hoax. He apologized. He showed me Twitter messages, apparently from Tuiasosopo, apologizing for perpetrating this hoax on him, embarrassing him, etc.
Notre Dame linebacker Manti Teo speaking tonight with our Jeremy Schaap for 2.5 hours. Jeremy, we appreciate your time. I'm going to let you go get ready for the 1 a.m. Eastern Sports Center. You have more on this story there. We appreciate you here. Thanks again.
Once again, to reiterate, Jeremy Schaap speaking with Manti Teo, speaking for the first time. This entire hoax story became public. Much more on this coming up here on SportsCenter.